Hi Virgo, this is Carrie at wooingnature.life, and this is your reading for May. I hope you're well and I hope everything is solid on your end wherever you might be. But we're going to press on. All right, Virgo, I'll be reading from the Sacred Oracle, Sacred Earth Oracle. I'll also be reading from Carolyn Mace's Archetype Cards. And I will be reading from Alphabet for Lovers. And what I'm going to do with Alphabet for Lovers this go round is, since everybody's been at home with family, I have been really battling the light today. And my camera doesn't know what light it wants to do, so it's in and out and in and out. So I'm going to try to remedy that if I can. But at any rate, I was saying that I'm going to be reading from Alphabet for Lovers, for not just for romantic relationships, but also for other kinds of relationships, because we are in close proximity to each other. And I know we've got parents and children and in-laws and all kinds of things going on. So we want to make sure that we're looking at all relationships. So I'll think about that as we are talking about that when we get to that point. All right, so let's just start with the Sacred Oracle here. I'll be pulling two cards from this deck just to give you a focal point and something to think about for the month of May. So this is two concepts, two ideas, two focal points for Virgo for the month of May. Two focal points for Virgo for the month of May. Okay. All right. We've got context and we have revision. This is the third time, all earth signs that have gotten revision. So I'll start with that one and then we'll talk about context in just a second. So revision for me is about revising a plan, going back and thinking about what you have put together so far, and then also what you still need to work on. So the thing is to dig a little deeper into your plans, your objectives, your strategies. With everybody, I'm going to say that revising the plan is probably the name of the game, because after the global health crisis kicked in, it has changed the game for a lot of us. People are at home, they're out of work. They are having time to think, possibly about their purpose, about their life purpose, about whether or not they are on the right track or not. It's plenty of time to dig deep, and dig deep is what people are doing. But at the same time, some people are not going on jobs, and some of those jobs they may not be going back to at all. So time to revise the plan, rethink what you were originally going to do, and apply the new information to it. Now, it doesn't mean you have to completely scratch it. For some people, you may be completely scratching a plan, but for others of you, you're just tweaking it. And tweaking it, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm getting also, Virgo, for you to work on your chakra energy, particularly the energy that is trying to come in to you through your crown chakra. So you want to make sure your chakras are cleared, because there's some downloads and some information that is going to be coming through to you. So you want to make sure you're free and clear, that your mind is clear, that you're not rocking with a lot of anger and any other kind of energy that will close you off, because there is some information that is trying to come through to you. I'm seeing an open book. I'm also seeing the root of a tree, I believe it is. And then there's also like water energy there too. So just take all of that how you want to take that, and move with it the way that you feel like you need to. But I'm seeing all of that here, especially the information about getting the download. So you want to make sure your energies are clear and that your chakras are clear, so things can come through clearly for you. All right. And then the next card, which is context. Context is a word that we use a lot in art and in the art field, because that basically means what information feeds the creation, what is the background that motivates or that inspires So you want to think about that. You want to think about your own self, your life, the context of your life, the context of your experiences. You want to think about also, when you look at a situation, particularly a negative one, a lot of times we're so focused on the thing that bothers us that we aren't able to kind of pan out and look at the bigger picture. And we're also not able to see some of the details that we may be missing. And so, with this message about context for me, it is about that. It's about looking at the bigger picture, looking at the whole kit and caboodle when you're making those decisions. And I feel like this goes right along with that revision statement too, or the statement about needing to revise. This is a transformative phase for you, Virgo. You want to be mindful of your throat chakra in particular, because I feel like there's things that you're going to need to be communicating or expressing in one way or the other. And certainly with the idea of context and art, then creative expression then comes to mind. But I am seeing creative expression here for you, Virgo, in the month of May, or needing to express yourself creatively. Now that can happen, you depending on who you are, whether you consider, if you are an artist, of course you understand this, but even if you are not, then creative expression still is important. So find a creative outlet or a way for you to express the things that are going on inside of you, particularly the context of your life. I keep getting your life in context. So, or your life experience in context. So that is what needs to be communicated in some creative form. Okay. So you're revising your plan. You're going back and re-envisioning what you had planned on doing and what your goals were. You're rethinking your goals, reestablishing some new strategies, maybe even coming up with some new objectives. Some of you may have decided to pitch your old goals for some new ones. Just make sure when you're doing that you're clear, that you're not just running from a situation or not completing a situation, but that you're actually clear that that's not the goal. Okay, you want to be clear about that, and you'll know, because when you're running away from a goal, you'll tend to make excuses. Okay. All right. So that's it for Sacred Earth. That's just a couple of things for you to kind of, let marinate in the back of your head as you're moving throughout the month. That's what you need to be focused on, those two things. Thinking about the context of your life, and then also revising the plan that you had already set forth. All right, so I'm going to Carolyn Mace's archetype cards. Archetypes are just personalities. It could be people, could be personalities, could also be energy. So as I'm pulling these cards out, and I will be pulling 3 for Virgo. Be pulling 3 for Virgo. As I'm pulling these cards from the deck, just think about where that fits for you. These cards come in the light side and the shadow side of the archetype. So what I do is, if it comes in reverse, then I will read the shadow side. And if it comes in upright, then I will read the light side. And again, these could be personalities. This could be energies. Could be you. Could be somebody else. But it's just really energies. Spiritual energies to be mindful of during the month. Okay. Give it one more second and then we'll go. All right. All right. Energy, folks, around Virgo for the month of May. Let's see what we got here. We got a shadow athlete, a warrior, and martyr. All right. Athlete, shadow athlete. The misuse, this is the card, sorry, I should have shown it to you. Misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, or a false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. So false sense of entitlement is the one that's standing out for me with this shadow athlete. This is somebody who probably is, feels all empowered or maybe feels strong physically, but um, maybe because of where they've been or where they're going or, how they've been able to maneuver up until now. Could be an actual athlete, somebody maybe who's a former athlete, athlete that is probably has some ego issues going on, more than likely. Um, But the thing to remember about this, and the reason why I'm pulling these cards this month, is that when you're dealing with people and you're dealing with energies, once you know what their deal is, what they're rocking with, then you'll know how to actually manage the relationship, because some of these people are in your close proximity. It could be people at work, or it could be somebody at home or around you that is annoying the heck out of you. But when you are able to understand where they're coming from and what their stuff is, then you'll know how to communicate with them, or you'll know how to handle it better. But this person is dealing with a false sense of invulnerability. So they think that I don't know, a bullet will miss them or something, or they think that they can kick everybody's ass or something to that effect. But at any rate, the this false sense of entitlement is what you're dealing with. Now, just to tell you what the light attribute is of this person, because what I like to do with these cards is, if I'm dealing with somebody who's dealing with the shadow and it's in the negative, then I read the positive, because those are the kinds of things that we maybe can encourage in this person so they can stop being a behind. Okay. So the dedication to transcending physical limits, including their handicaps, and the development of personal willpower and strength in the spirit. Okay, so if they are, heavily egocentric, I feel like this is an ego person, somebody with a lot of ego. We've been looking at that quite a bit in the news. I'm not going to say any more about that. But this is somebody who needs to develop their personal willpower, and they need to build their strength in their spiritual strength. So to me, understanding where their deficits are and where their weaknesses are, not to exploit the weakness, but just so that you'll know how to deal with them. Because really, anybody who's operating in the shadow has the ability to operate in the light, Carol Ann. So you want to make sure that when you're dealing with these kinds of energy, could be, within yourself. When you're dealing with that, then you highlight the positive, you highlight the light. Okay, getting past your physical limits, getting over your deficits, your handicaps. And when we talk about handicaps, we're not just talking about physical handicaps, mental, emotional, spiritual handicaps, the things that keep us back, that handicap us, so that we are not able to maneuver the way that we need to maneuver. So you'll watch the shadow athlete in yourself and also in the people around you, so you'll know how to deal with that energy when it comes to you. So you've got a warrior. You've got the warrior archetype here too. This is strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of the will, heroism, stoicism, and the self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. So we need to probably get these two going together. But the warrior spirit there is strength and skill and discipline and toughness, and having your will be enhanced, or that drive your motivation. So any kind of experiences that you may be having, Virgo, are there to build that in you. If you are sacrificing if you feel like you're making sacrifices right now, it really is around the ego itself. So you'll want to awaken this spirit in you and remember that that spirit rests with you. Also, there may be people around you that are coming with this same kind of light, to be an example to you as well. So again, this could be people outside of you. It could be your own energy that you have to deal with, or just energies in general to think about, or to learn how to manage in the month of May. All right, and then we have a martyr here. Interesting. The light attribute though is learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Now, nobody's asking anybody to be a martyr, because that goes back to the issue of sacrifice, okay? Here, or not an issue of sacrifice, but sacrifice in general, because sometimes sacrifice is needed and sometimes it's not. You have to learn how to determine when it's time to sacrifice and when it's not time to sacrifice. And I think that's one of the major lessons of the martyr spirit. It's not that there's been martyrs throughout time, so they're there for a reason. They're there as an example. The example is about learning the nature of service, not only to other people, but service to yourself. So it's about service, when to give, when not to, how to best serve. So anytime you're dealing with that, then that's the time to ask that question. And certainly if you feel like a martyr in a negative sort of way, then the idea here is to examine that within yourself. If you feel like you've been a martyr, or if you've been giving in service to others and you're starting to feel some kind of way about it, maybe it's time to examine what that transcendent nature is within yourself. How are you serving yourself? Or how is this situation serving yourself? And then how is it serving others? Because usually when we feel a martyr complex, it's because we feel like we're serving others. But then you have to ask yourself, how are you serving yourself in that same act? Because that'll help to bring that martyrism back to balance. So we got warrior, we have martyr, and we have the shadow athlete in play in May. I would say bring out the warrior spirit in you, examine the martyr in you, and then be mindful of the ego, wherever that exists. Okay? All right, Virgo. So when I started doing choosing cards for this month, and I know I always like to work with the tarot for these readings, Spirit said to tell the people a story, so I went and got 1001 Nights, Tarot of 1001 Nights, because it comes from a tradition of storytelling. Alibaba, that's where these cards came from, and they can definitely tell a story, so I appreciate that. So we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Someone who is comfortable in their surroundings, who feels good about where they are. I see somebody approaching you or coming towards you, Virgo, because of that, okay? That becomes an attractive trait. And I see someone coming towards you. It could be somebody coming with, towards you with, for something financial, could be work, could be a job, it's something about money, it could be that, but it could also be someone who's coming with a lucrative idea, something that will spawn something new in your life, something inspiring, something that is like seeds to grow, okay? You have everything that you need. You're in good shape. You're actually quite comfortable, Virgo, at this time. This is the card I'm looking at here. Hard to see because the lighting is bad. We've got the Magician coming in the upright, which means that you are also able to access your personal power, or the power that you used to assume that came from outside of you. It does not. It's actually inside. You have been looking for this. It's actually a spiritual power that you've been looking for, and you have been on the ground searching for it. But I'm seeing both from this card and from the Magician card that you have made it, and that this energy is now available to you. So you just got to look for the resources that exist in your circle. You don't have to look very far, I'm told. Excuse me. I told you they hit the floor. We got a 5 of Pentacles in reverse here. 5s usually represent conflicts. So the fact that it's in reverse tells me that this may be a conflict that you are moving past, or that may have been in your recent past, but it's something that you are working through, or you've already started working through. And that is that you had to try to make a decision about what was being offered to you before. Like some things that were being offered to you were being offered open and free and honest, and trustworthy way, and then there were also some offers being coming to you that weren't, where there were things hidden, or somebody might not have been on the up and up, or they weren't revealing their true self to you, and you had to make a decision about that. You had to make a decision about what you were going to do. You had to make a wise decision about what it was that you were going to do about that. And it seems like that conflict has recently passed here. You become wiser because of it, and you have also established some new rules for yourself because of that. And that's why you're feeling grounded and feeling clear, and that's why, what's coming towards you is something more positive, because you've worked through that conflict. And we all have to work through conflicts like that. That's just a part of life. It just gives you a better discernment, Virgo. It makes you more discerning when you get through that. All right, what else with Virgo? What else with Virgo? All right, so Virgo's been kind of like in their own worlds, kind of looks like you're up the tree here, but no, I don't think it's any danger. Maybe you've felt that way, but you've been distant and inaccessible, I'm going to say, for the rest of the world, and we've all kind of been distant and inaccessible right through here now, so that's completely understandable. But part of that is to get in touch with the spirits, like, so the spirits could communicate with you and speak to you, so that you're able to hear and see and not be distracted by other voices, other things. And you've been doing a really good job of that. Some of you need to connect with nature, or you have been connecting with nature. I highly recommend it, especially during this time. And that this action, this time, this situation is actually, helping you. It's helping you. It's helping you get your bearings straight. It's helping you get comfortable with yourself. I'm seeing some Tree of Life here too. So for those people who are doing Tree of Life meditations, this was the time to do that. And then also it's the time of clearing things out, because you're getting ready to end, you're getting ready to close a cycle. I'm seeing that in the number 9 here. Okay, so you're closing out a cycle. All right, I've got another 5 here in reverse too. So it looks like a couple of things you've been getting through. This is something where either you've had to give advice or get advice from somebody else. That's the situation. I think the advice is about your structure. It's about your, the way you, I don't know, what are your structure, like your rules of order, your rules for yourself, right? So sometimes we break our own rules. We have rules for ourselves, and then we break our own rules, right? So you've had to get advice. This situation that you're moving past was a situation in which you had to receive advice from someone else, but it's also about your rules of engagement, how you choose to live your life, and whether or not you're living by that or going against that. Okay, so you don't want to do that, Virgo. Whenever it is, whatever your rules are for your life, keep them until you change them. And when you change them, keep up with those too, right? Because nobody is going to respect you. They're not going to respect they're not going to respect your space. They're not going to respect your territory. They're not going to respect you until you start letting people know what the boundaries are. So boundaries are very important. For some of you, you are processing through that right now. For some of you, you still may be dealing with some of that in May. All right, so we've got the commerce card coming up. Commerce is like a buzzword right now. Astrologically, Pluto is focused around that. And then the new moon that's coming up, if you are seeing this before the new moon is also about commerce, looking at commerce and trade. So Virgo, for you all, it may be an entrepreneurial effort. It may be something that a good or a service that you have, some kind of talent or skill that you can then market to other people, because there are some new things coming in over the horizon. I'm seeing that with the ships in the background there. There are things coming in over the horizon. There are things coming in over the water. I'm getting that commerce and trade is going to open up even more. Not that it's not already open, it is. But there are some things that are going to be put in place, particularly after everything that's been happening with the global health crisis. There are some other things that are going to be opening up for individuals, and so you want to be in position to do that. So now's the time to kind of examine your skill set and see how you can market that for what's coming after May. Key 2 in reverse. 2 of what in reverse? 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so this is the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, and what I'm getting from that is that it's time for partnering to happen. You've been going it alone for quite some time, and you have been able to draw to you what it was that you needed to draw to you alone. But in order for it to grow, and I'm seeing the growth happening here as far as this is concerned, as far as this free market card is concerned, it's time for you to find other people that you can partner with to push your idea or your concept or your idea forward. You have to do that because you're not going to be able to do this alone. Okay, if your project is going to have any, if your project or your idea or your company or whatever is going to be lucrative, you're going to have to find other people to work with to help you push it forward. And we've got the King of Pentacles. So this may be the other person that we're talking about. This may be somebody coming into your cipher who has knowledge who has knowledge of business, knowledge of finances, knowledge of, could be operations, anything like that, where they know kind of the nuts and bolts, policies, procedures, regulations, how certain things are done on the back end. This is a very grounded person in the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles are grounded. They're earth grounded. So I'm feeling like whoever this partner is somebody like that. They could also come with other people with fresh ideas to help you. So just be open to that, Virgo. Don't be resistant to that. Really be open to anybody who has something of value to offer you in terms of their knowledge and expertise regarding whatever this is you're going to do in the world of commerce. Anything else for Virgo for the month of May to think about? All right, so I've been getting this card a lot too. This is the 5 of Pentacles, but it is in reverse again. You've got all your 5s in reverse. That's a good thing, Virgo, because apparently, whatever hardships or difficulties or conflicts you were going through, and I'll take a look at them in just a few minutes again, just to kind of recap. But it seems like you're working through them, which is good. And then May is the 5th month of the year. Maybe that's the time to kind of get through all of these. But I do want to pay attention to all of these 5s and get a little closer in. This 5 is about being out front, as opposed to in the background. So just looking at these again, yeah, you're working past a few things. 1, getting your foundation together, getting your rules of order together. 2, getting over those people, the people that mean you well and people who are trying to hide stuff and not on the up and up. Learning how to discern that. And then the other is being more out front. So I would say these are 3 things for you to focus on in the month of May, not in terms of just like having to start all over again or but just to kind of keep, how do we say that? Like to keep the momentum going. So what the work that you've already done around those 3 areas, continue to maintain. Keep the momentum, and whoever you got advice from about your foundational work, I don't want to call it foundational work, about your rules, your new rules. whoever it was that communicated to you about the new rules, if you feel like you're wavering in any way around this, go back to them because they're going to help kind of keep you in order. That's where the order exists. Or the advice about the order exists. All right, and then we have the Knave of Chalices, which to me says there's some studying or some research that you're going to be doing also in May. This is really good for you, Virgo, because you need that time. And I feel like you need that. I think it's good time out, not just quiet time or me time, but it's time to elevate and educate and elucidate and all of that kind of stuff for the next level of ascension, because I feel like these fives, this energy of these fives have been quite taxing. You're getting through it, but I feel like this is really that time for you to regroup and study and edify yourself and learn something new that you really wanted to learn, and just spend that time boosting your brain on a brain boost. Yeah, edify yourself. That's what I keep getting. Edify yourself. Let that be your focus. Okay. Anything else for Virgo, please? Any other information for Virgo? No, that's it. All right, Virgo, that's your story for May. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, so next we're going to go to the alphabet for lovers. And again, these are all lovers, people that you love, people that love you. Could be parents, could be children, could be spouse, could be lover, in-laws, doesn't matter. We're just looking at relationships right now, types of relationships that Virgo may be encountering in May, with advice on how to deal with it, please. Relationships, please, for Virgo, month of May. Okay. Relationship issues for Virgo in the month of May. I can't believe May is already here. Cannot believe it. The year is just zooming by. Relationships for the month of May. Okay, relationships for the month of May, Virgo. I don't know. Any other relationships? All right, I'm only getting one for you, Virgo. It says battles, conquests, and dilemmas. Battles, conquests, and dilemmas. Since you only got one card, I'm going to go to the book for you. I'm not going to the book for everybody because there's so much in here. Some people had quite a few cards, and some people just had one, like yourself. All right, battles, conquests, and dilemmas. It says the relationship looks like a hurricane. War spirits are stewing, frequent ups and downs, conflicts, spiritual struggles, and doubts about the continuity of the connection. Each partner is trying to survive in it and get his or her own way. There may be a sense, there may be also arguments about the place of residence, major purchases, etc. There's a sense of nervousness, impatience, and fatigue from the endless dilemmas and lack of support. At this crossroads, you will be forced to make a decision to cut either way. The element of time is critical. 1 week or 7 weeks to the resolution. So we're talking about 1 to 7 weeks on a resolution for this for you. You are led by masculine energies and implement more thinking than feeling. One party knows certain facts that the other does not and uses them to gain power. During a fight, he or she may put you in a very negative light, show no compassion, or to take all power to themselves as they stop talking to you. Your keen senses suggest that this person may have the the person may have a relationship on the side, although they may deny it or cover up their behavior with light chatter. The relationship suffers from ongoing problems or simply is not healthy for you. Okay. If you are a single, a crush or a quick click with someone based on strong initial impression. The courtship seems aggressive and resembles going into combat in order to achieve supremacy. Someone is viewed as an object suitable for occupation. Alternatively, the inability to maintain a steady relationship and jumping from one partner to another may detract from establishing a meaningful connection. You may encounter a confusing dilemma because you will have to choose between two potential mates. Will you act according to emotion or logic? Okay? Wow. Okay? Advice: a relationship is not a battlefield, and you cannot let it continue this way much longer, but it's up to you, for time is short and you'll have to make a conclusive decision. 7, they keep coming up with 7 days, 7 weeks, or 7 months. So think about the number 7. Also, for those of you who are connected to the Yoruba teachings, then 7 is associated with Yemaya. Yemaya governs the number 7, so that may be advice that you can take to Yemaya if that's your path. However, ask yourself, is it really a lost situation? Do I have to break the relationship because I suspect some infidelity? And that is all for you to work through, Virgo. You just had the one card, okay? So it seems like most of you must be dealing with this in one way or the other. So there's the information for you to take with you on your guided path toward wherever it is that you choose to go. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you staying focused and for taking a look at the video. Please share and subscribe and tell other people to come on board if you feel so moved. If you want to go and take a deeper dive and get your own reading, you can check out the readings, the reading page at wooingnature.life. And if you have any questions, you can surely reach out to me at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. As always, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful May, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.